I have a finger pointing at me. I think we are live. Hello, everybody. I'm going to wait till I get confirmation in chat, and then we will get this show on the road. The first waiting for confirmation in the new year. It's my favorite part. So if you can hear me, please type in chat. And once I confirm that technically we're all good to go, I hear yep. All right. Everyone, welcome to DevStream number 14, the first of 2022. It's release month, and I have my good friend Hans with me. Hans, how are you doing today?
Hey Brad, I'm doing good, thanks. A lot of stuff to be excited for. It's a new year, the game's coming out soon, and I'm feeling great. How about you?
Yeah. Happy New Year's to you. How was your New Year's break?
It was great. I think you mentioned last time that I would attempt to cross the Alps to enter Italy and go skiing, and I luckily was able to do so. I passed through Germany, through Austria, and then into Italy, and it went pretty well. We got through there with our Corona pass and everything, and we got to ski for 6 days, and it was lovely.
Awesome, man. How was the snow good? Was it like how was it? Powder, ice?
Well, I'm not really a skiing aficionado, seeing that there's no mountain in Denmark. I have been skiing maybe 20 times in my life, not enough if you ask me, but the snow was good. It was a bit icy, very hard packed, no power, which I was a bit sad to. I ride some all mountain skis, so I would love to go a bit off piste, but that was mostly grass and butterflies, and then you had to stay on the glacier for some skiing. But it was a really good time, and the Italians are a lovely people to visit as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we have some. If anyone in chat is a skier or snowboarder, would love to hear that. I see Rude 9 RHUD. I'm guessing that's RHUD. RHUD. I will say RHUD, not Rude. RHUD 993 is saying hi from Brazil. Hello. We got some of our normal people around. It's great to see everyone in the new year. I am so excited about January 20th. I mean, it is crazy that this game has been going for so long, and we are right around the corner from release. It's in like 3 weeks. It's a little madhouse around here. A lot of last-minute bug fixing and testing and trying to get everything batten down the hatches, so to speak. It's it's about to happen, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking. Like I think I can speak for all of Logic artists that we at this point we barely can wait, and we think that the responses we got from the demo was pretty great. What we hoped for. So we just want to grab everything that we still can and try and make it as good as possible, because the time is running out. But we're super excited to be there in just 2 weeks time or something like that, and see what everyone thinks about the epic story that we have created for you.
And I love this Twitch community we've been growing here together. We're gonna have streams every week now in January, so mark your calendars for Wednesdays in January. It's Rome month. It's gonna be Rome every week. We have new trailers launching. Next week is gonna be really exciting. But let's stay focused on the day right now. We're actually talking about combat AI today, and if you haven't read the diary, feel free to check it out. It's at our community site, community.expeditionseries.com. We have a really exciting dev diary that talks about the combat AI, how it works, what our thought process is on it, and that's what we're going to be talking about here in the beginning of the stream. This is actually a question that's come up from the community quite a bit during the demo launch. Like, how does the AI work? What are the parameters for its decision making? I know when we did our demo streamer weekend event with some of the different streamer partners we had out there, they were asking about AI. So I think it's a fun topic to go into. Everyone wants to know how the brain works behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a really, really big topic, because it's so many different cogwheels that needs to play together. It's like, fundamentally, what are the rules of the game? What is the experience, growth, and difficulty we kind of want to bring to the player? And what should the enemies be allowed to do in total? So yeah, I think some of the big things that we can say is we have some overall AI that looks at the enemy team together and decides should they be defensive, should they be aggressive in their strategies, and then we also have individual tactics for each unit, where they kind of go into, okay, am I chasing some guy right now? Am I just getting into reach? Do I want to cooperate with another character that has a specific skill? So kind of look for some combos that can be done. And yeah, we have a lot of things going on under the hood to try and focus on creating an experience that feels really tactical and challenging in a new way all the time, but also always try and fit the narrative.
So we're going to be showing some new gameplay today. For all those that are tuning in, we have I would say, I would call Gaul kind of late game. It's a late game encounter. We actually have a save file from our wonderful UI designer, Anka, who I believe over Christmas break completed her kind of vanilla playthrough. Like, she went from the very beginning to the end of the game, plowed all the way through it, and she was kind enough to share a save file in Gaul before a pacification quest. So for all that want to see new gameplay, we're going to break into that in about 10 or 15 minutes here. We're going to play, I don't know if I'll be able to finish the pacification mission, but we're going to play a pacification quest. There's a whole bunch of really cool gear that Anka has on her character, so that'll be fun to experience. But before we go into that, I really do want to spend at least 5 or 10 minutes talking about the Dev Diary some, because I know this is exciting to people. I know we've seen a lot of questions about it, and I think it's cool to talk about. So the diary is focused on combat AI, and I think it's a really it's a tricky thing, because you can't make AI. Well, I guess you can, but you don't want AI to be perfect. Like, if AI is perfect, the game's not going to be fun.
Exactly. I think it's something we've been discussing a lot, because while it's very clear we don't want it to be acting perfectly, like just trying to, like, the game comes down to which team's health pool hits 0 first a lot of the time. There are victory conditions in the game that requires the player to do something else, but your health pool will reach 0, the enemy wins. And if they just put all the efforts in doing that, the player in those cases will be having a lot of fun. So it's always looking at what is the scenario that we are setting up for the player in this combat encounter, and we have over 100 encounters, so there's a lot of variety there, which is a really good thing, and we need an AI that can support that. And so very often it's about figuring out, okay, what is the mission that the player is on? What is the goal? What is the tension, the setting that we've set it up to? And then after that, what is the setting? And there we want to make sure that if you're in a city, you would expect there to be some chaos, some fleeing civilians. You want the mechanics to work in towards that, and you want the different characters in the city to reflect what you expect. So I think that's something we've been working really hard on, is trying to create an AI that could always kind of sell the setting you're in.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because, you know, when you're playing an action-oriented game like a racer or a sports game or a shooter, or you know, like a shooter, like, obviously, you know, most people don't have perfect accuracy. I mean, there's obviously freaks out there that do. I've seen a couple of them play live, and they're like gods. But, like, most people aren't going to be able to shoot a headshot while in motion every time. And so, like, the AI missing shots that maybe they could have gotten is not going to be so pronounced. So you get that. I mean, you could definitely make a shooter where the AI lands every single shot, but that would just be broken, and it would not be any fun. When you're playing a turn-based game, it's a little harder to hide that, right? Like, you can't hide. It's not like shooter slop, right? The AI has to make mistakes that you may go, well, wow, why would you have done that? And that's how you create some of those moments that the player actually can, you know, experience that game in the right way.
Yeah, so that is one of the things that's very different with turn-based games, is that since the enemies don't need to react live to things, and you don't have all these characters acting at the same time in most parts, that means that we could do some bit more heavy calculations compared to other games, and actually really go in where they can math out, like, all the movement opportunities, all the combo, and then just execute them perfectly if that's what we wanted to. But we do need those mistakes, and as you mentioned, that's because the AI knows the rules. They don't need to rethink stuff. We can make sure they don't, like, miss a shot. They don't have reduced damage. They don't take attack of opportunity. But we also want them to surprise you. We want them to positively reinforce your strategic outcome. So throughout the game, we expect the player to learn the mechanics to different degrees. And so the AI kind of needs to always challenge you, not just by being outnumbering you as they often do in Expeditions Rome, or by having a hard victory condition, but also in, like, bringing up new scenarios where suddenly you need to adapt. And as soon as you learn to adapt, then they should fall into your trap suddenly. And that's some of the things that feel really good. And some examples are being able to surround an archer with some of your melee characters, and when he tries to flee, which would be what you expect in real life. You don't want to stand next to a Roman soldier like flinging his gladius at you, so they'll try and flee, get the attack opportunity, and that feels really rewarding for the player. Same if you go to the front lines with your scudum. If the enemy would never shoot at that scudum, at your shield, then why even bring it in the first place? So it's a really fine act of tuning so that the AI doesn't shoot your shield all the time, because why are they even there? Then you don't need to care about them. But you also sometimes want to have that positive reinforcement of you're placing your shield guy in a good spot, hence they're shooting it. And that's a constant balancing act for how much they should be doing it and how much they should be avoiding it.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it's a balancing act that you always are refining. We call it mistake probability in the game. What are the thresholds for that, and how does it work in different difficulty levels? It's always a tricky act because, for the range of players, some players want more forgiveness and some want to see the AI play like a really smart human, and some people want the AI to play like the Matrix. So it's always a balancing act of which angle you go on. By the way, welcome to some of the people we saw joining in chat. Colin, Ben Croft, hi. The Koshti, hi. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're ready to see some new gameplay here in a little bit. Jackal201 says the AI is smart enough to always KO the Velas though, right? Like Bestia always gets swamped. So I mean, yeah, there are some patterns here and there. I guess that's true. So it just depends.
No, I think there's being dumb and there's no-brainers.
Right, right. Well, if Bestia is not dodging or being careful, if the Velas isn't careful, they're gonna get. I mean, you take the attacks you can get, right?
Yeah.
So the another thing I wanted to mention here is that there's different scales and sliders for how this mistake system works. Imagine. So it's not just one set of parameters. There's different decision-making hierarchies, I'm guessing, that the AI goes through, and there's different levers, I'm guessing, on how it does. I mean, how does that work exactly? Maybe I should just ask.
I mean, we have first the difficulty that you choose overall for the game, which controls some of the stats that they have, for example, which is fundamentally how much the AI can do, like how much damage am I allowed to take, and how far can I move. That, like at the baseline, kind of depicts how much they can do on that round. They always have action point naturally, but if they can't move as much, they won't be able to reach. They have less movement, health, stuff like that, deal less damage on lower difficulties, and then that gets bumped up on the higher difficulties. Reaching insane, we actually add additional skills or effects of the skills to the AI. So it's like, okay, once you played on hard, then you have kind of seen everything that they can do in their default game, if called so, but then most of their attacks start getting like additional effects, like being able to deflect other attacks or applying bleeding when it normally wouldn't, just to add that extra layer that the player needs to learn to adapt to once they play on insane. And then we have the slider, like for the mistakes that you also mentioned, which also, other than just looking into how well can I combo my skill with others? Should I avoid making bottlenecks in my movement so characters can pass by me? Should I stand in cover more frequently? Should I take attack opportunity, shoot the shield? Like most of these rules that you don't want to do as a player, it looks at that. But then on top of that, we also on Insane give them extra resistances, extra movement, things that require that the player's even more careful about their positioning because the enemies will be able to reach them easier. And with the resistance, you also you have to flank them in order to deal with that, or find other mechanics within the game that can do so. So it's always about finding the learning curve of the player. Where should the player be on their skill level at this point in the game, and then allowing them to feel great about having learned something new, or suddenly then challenge them again. So you're forced to learn something new, and then constantly loop on that.
Yeah, I see there's a debate going on right now. So I in chat. Now, remind me, if I remember correctly, there's not really that much in-game loot progress differences during different difficulty modes. So, like, if you're playing on Insane versus normal, the loot that's going to drop for in-game loot is probably about the same. I guess there could be a little bit more choice if there's more enemies in a particular encounter. However, there are unlocks that are tied to beating the game or going through certain sequences. So there are things that you get from finishing, like, say, grease the first time on insane or on hard or whatever. That comes to like ways that you can change the visual appearance of your Praetorians or your war camp with different color schemas and trophies, as well as the emblems. So there are things that you earn that are visual in nature for your customization options that are based on you completing certain almost like achievements, right? But different, and there's quite a few of them. I think we have quite a few unlocks that are based on difficulty progression. So there's definitely a reward, Moses arose, for playing on harder difficulties. But as far as the actual in-game loot progression, not really. I don't think there's much of a difference between the different difficulties.
In terms of the loot that you get from characters and specifically equipment, I believe there's no difference. But we do actually have, I believe, a slider separately for one of the metagame systems. I think we talked about that in the previous Dev Diary as well, where you'll actually get like less manpower replenishment, you'll find less money, less food, less medicines, things you need to survive in the world in the whole meta thing. So if you're playing insane, not only will you get more injuries, you'll also have more limited resources to deal with those injuries. So you need to not only be more tactical in combat, but also how you play in the whole strategy part of the game. And also stuff like the Legion battles also get affected on top of that. So all of that ties together.
Jackal, to be clear, not all of the decorations are tied to difficulty, just some of them. Same with hardcore. There are some unlocks that are based on beating certain parts of the campaign on hardcore. So you have a couple different modifiers that you can tie into based on, if you want to be a completionist and unlock everything, you better be able to get through insane pretty efficiently. So it just depends on how crazy you want to get, like any good game when it comes to progression system. So I do want to get into playing the game. We want to show this Gaul pacification quest, but I have one more thing that I want to talk about, which is I've seen some comments from people playing insane difficulty in the demo saying that maybe insane is not that hard. I'll grant you that we may have some tweaks we can make to the early game, but from at least what I've heard, and I haven't played much insane personally, but from what I've heard, QA and the design team, like when you start getting into some of the deeper parts of the game, insane gets pretty stupid. Like it's really, really challenging in some of the later missions. The demo is like the intro, like the tutorial. So a lot of those missions are easy by design, and on insane, then we're not going to really do that much to make them unbeatable. But I know that like some of the sieges, some of the big fights later on in insane, they're pretty tough. Like they're not. Is there a couple that I don't think people have beat yet? Like there are some we're still trying to find one or like other than one that can get like one or two people that can get through them.
Maybe I played Alicia's Siege, one of the later ones, and I had quite a trouble with it just on normal earlier, like because I was just playing with some random setup and I just needed to get through it fast, right? On insane, I could imagine like you need to prepare your characters, like have some good builds, know what the enemies can do, bring plenty of bandages. I think Casper, our system designer, at one point sent a result screen from one of the sieges where there was just like 2 rows of tactical items that he just had to all spend his resources on, because otherwise he couldn't get food. Like his characters were getting down right and left, and he needed to bandage them, and then he needed the banners to weaken the enemies, and like all the good stuff, where it definitely requires more from you to get through those things. On Lesbos in the demo as you played, the enemies are significantly weaker. Right after that, we actually kind of transitioned them from being tutorial enemies to regular Greek enemies. And the tutorial enemies, there are specific skills that they don't have because you're still kind of getting the reins of the game, just learning mechanics. So on insane, they'll kind of do the same thing as a normal, just have better stats, and then those extra effects that I also talked about. So it's a bit harder.
I'll be really curious to see how the community feels after January. I mean, obviously, if it's not hard enough, we can do something. We're going to be patching the game. There'll be live support for the game for a while, so there are opportunities for us to tweak and improve some of that. I'll be very curious if the majority of players who want to play a hard game mode think that insane is too easy when they get deeper into the experience. Some of those combat encounters are not. They're not for the weak of heart, even on hard. I know what one of our QA guys is like, insane is stupid. Like, insane is just dumb. I don't know who they think is going to be able to do this, but this is not a reasonable level of difficulty. So we'll see. It'll be fun.
I think insane often kind of comes down to being like, one, not making any of your mistakes and being very optimal, but also learning all the intricacies and secrets of the game that you at some point know it so much you can like semi-cheese it, if you would say so. Like you need to know what you need,
insane.
otherwise it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and insane. It's really hard to cheese the AI. Like it plays smart. It knows what it's doing. So you're gonna have to be clever there. Well, you know what? We've been talking about the game. And I love talking about our game, but I think let's show some gameplay. Let's get into some of the what we're gonna show today, and see if we can give some. I'm gonna try this on hard mode. I haven't played hard this deep into the game in a while, so we'll see how that goes. So I'm gonna load here while we're getting the.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that if the chat has any extra questions about AI, feel free to ask. We might be able to answer some of them later in the stream. And you can also reach us on Discord, and then also go to the Expeditions forum to look up at the dev diary, because there's plenty of things about the AI that we haven't talked about yet, such as them having unique one-liners and different things that's going on to just make them even more fun. But I'm curious how you'll do with this encounter, Brad, because hard and late game. I'm not sure if you've been in this part of the game either, but you were struggling just a little bit with that lion encounter last stream we had, and I had a good laugh.
So I mean, in all honesty, I've played almost every aspect of the game, obviously, but I've played it at different parts of development. So I don't believe I've played Gaul content on the harder difficulties in a recent time. So I think the last time I played it, a lot of it was very different than what it is now. And I'll be very curious. It's same with the pacification quests. I know that when I was playing some of the pacification quests before, they were still only a couple of them, so I haven't seen all the new ones. I don't know exactly which one this is. And like I said, this is an organic save file. So this isn't a save file that was created from debug commands or any kind of like cheats. This is one that our UI designer was playing through on an organic playthrough, a vanilla playthrough from beginning to end, and she saved out this file. So all the equipment that we have, and we were looking at this before the stream, like all the equipment and all the stats and everything are all organically done. So they're builds from somebody else. One thing I find really interesting, and we were talking about this before, are I guess our UI designer likes really clean inventory.
Yeah.
We were talking about this. So she makes sure to clean out her inventory, which to me, I'm not that way. I'm kind of an inventory hoarder, so I like to keep a selection of stuff on there. So I thought that playstyle difference is quite interesting. But we have an interesting set of builds here to play with, and we're gonna go into this encounter. Oh, Ruin the Dwarf's here. Hey, Ruin, how you doing? One question before we go in. So Jackal asks, what AI? A question for what AI does when morale is low. I didn't see a lot of details about morale in the tutorials. So does AI like react to your morale or try to knock your morale down actively?
Not actively. There are different AI that have certain skills will affect your morale. And then how the morale system works is that upon reaching certain thresholds, you will make a morale check for different status effects, which all kind of take your controls away from the character. And then depending on the severity of your morale, you'll do minor dumb stuff or very dumb stuff. In terms of the AI, the dumbest thing they could do is flee the battlefield. You can actually win certain battles by having them all flee. I think we have a lone screen hint about that. But the AI surely can make your character low on morale, and they won't be happy about that.
So I had to write a cheat here because I didn't. This is not my save file, so I don't know who all the people are.
Yes, bring that down. Yes.
But there's one Freyarch I'm not seeing here that I wrote down. So it must be this person, right? I didn't already grab him, did I?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, it's that guy, Polius.
Oh, Polius. Oh yeah, okay, there he is. Yep. Okay, cool. So here is my my party. We'll see how this goes.
So what is this? This is Triarius, 3 Princeps, Sagittarius, and Velas.
Oh no, Anka is watching, so now she's gonna judge how I play her account. That's not good. Well, I'm playing on hard, Anka, so if I do poorly, that's because the AI is too hard, and we can blame Hans, the combat designer here. Oh shit, I forgot to turn off the debug messages. There we go. Okay, so pick up the lyre. What is this? So it's an objective type mission.
I can't believe
cool.
Jonas chose this one to play.
Why? Is that hard? Is that harder?
No, it's sufficient as all the encounters should be. But this one is let's call it semi comedic in what you need to do. Of course, you don't have
Hey,
the
DJ
whole.
Isla is here, spinning sweet tunes for chat. And hey, Sir Phoic, nice to see you. The
Well,
whole the
Discord.
crew is showing up. It's a little bit late to the game today, DJ and Ruin, but everyone's here, so that's great. It's always fun seeing all the regulars show up to the stream. All right, let's so you can watch me embarrass myself here. The hardest part, honestly, about playing someone else's save file is that you just don't know how the builds are done. So I don't know how these are built. You have to kind of like discover it. Wait, why is
Try and take a look at the village. Anything you noticed?
I'm kind of confused actually.
I'm pretty sure they're confused. I don't think they know you're there.
Oh. So when I run up there, they're gonna freak out.
It's all on you.
Is there a way to sneak in? There is.
Multiple. And I believe if you end your turn without them noticing you, you'll actually like get your turn again, meaning you won't. You'll have your action point.
So how can I get past? So I can't get past this main. Interesting. I mean, do I want to like go? So I can go up here. Yeah, you're gonna have to. I'm in thinking mode now, so you're gonna have to entertain the audience while I'm trying to figure out how the heck I'm gonna do this.
So it's very clear to see that Brad is looking at the different entries into the town, and they don't know that he's here. And he's put one guy up on the cart. He's moving one guy in through the main gate now, and then you have two guys on that shed. Actually, I think one of them jumped down. So he's able to actually attack them from multiple angles right now. And I'm curious to see if he will run in, so they get to actually attack first on him, or whether he'll kind of skip his turn, which they won't do anything because they're not in combat right now, and he'll get attacked again. Then he's essentially get like a free turn to approach on them, which is a smart move. But let's see. I think he needs it. It's hard, anyway.
Think I'm gonna keep people paired up.
Yeah, that's always a good move. Who was it in chat who mentioned what poor Bestia always gets situated by? It was Jackie201 mentioned how Bestia always gets slaughtered when you leave him too far behind enemy lines alone. So pairing up is usually a good idea. Yeah, nice.
I can't go any further.
You're finding all my secrets. What about behind that house? Is that possible?
Doesn't look like it. Oh, I guess you could go around.
Yeah, you could go all the way around.
Well, that would be even more extreme. I don't know if I really need to do that, though. Well, wait a second. What is this thing? Oil jars, and I do have a torch.
You're gonna use their own weapons against them. So, as a fun fact, I believe that this quest here.
I already kind of positioned myself all the way out here, and if I stretch her all the way around the back, she's gonna be pretty exposed. She can't really take that hit. What I could do, though, I mean, it'd take a long time to move a sword board guy all the way over there. I could try. How? Well, I guess I could. Is there a certain number of turns before they activate? Probably not.
Yeah,
right?
I believe in some encounters we do have some of that probably not here. No, I mean, it's
Oh, I can't
like dawn
get to
here.
that.
They're still waking up. They haven't gotten their Gallic morning coffee yet, so they're just kind of chilling until you attack them.
This may be a very bad idea.
Nah, no such thing. Also, I think this is actually one of the first things we talked about in like DevStream 3 about going into an encounter, and it like instead of just going, okay, I need to be tactical here, otherwise I'll not win. Whereas right now, what you're doing is wouldn't it be cool if, or it could be interesting, or can I do this? Like you're experimenting. You're getting some, I don't know, maybe dumb ideas or some really good ideas, and that's always fun to see
All right.
how it will turn out. So
All
now
right,
I'm
chat.
curious.
Now we're gonna trigger the war. But I think I'm gonna trigger it with the front door dude and see what they do. 'Cause if I trigger him, they can't. I don't know if they can. I don't know.
Yeah, you could also shoot them as your first thing. I believe so.
Oh, I could.
Like chuck that fire arrow into the oil barrel over by the fishies hanging there. That's mean.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
What did these Gauls do to you, huh? Oh, you ain't even going to use the torch.
That would be one way to start it. Just be like, all right, wake up, everybody. All right, you know what? Forget it. Let's see what happens.
Nice.
Everyone defend yourselves!
I don't think they like that.
I don't think anyone would like that in their homes.
Let's see. Let's do this.
So I'm curious. Does chat think that Brad will kill the civilians? Oh, you triggered a trap.
Oh, the civilians aren't combatant.
No.
Oh, I was totally gonna start killing them. I was totally about to kill them civilians. I mean, chat, shouldn't I just murder everybody? Isn't that like the way?
The Roman way.
Right.
You
So I guess I
could ask Anka what's her role-playing style.
Yeah, Anka, are you a civilian massacre? Well, it's really unfortunate. I can't actually. Well, I could peel him, this clown. Let's do that. Let's
I think you don't need to worry about him. I'm actually mistaken. I don't think this is a quiet town, since you need to pick up a liar. And I think if there's any Asterix fans in chat, they might know a certain important character that liar actually belongs to.
Now we know who Moses Arose is. Moses is like, kill them all. He's like, no. There are no civilians in war. They're all dirty Gauls who've been trying to, resist the Roman Enlightenment. So they either pick up a sword and shield and fight with you, or they are just fodder, I guess. Is that your approach, Moses Arose? Is that what we're saying here? Either fight with me or time to put you on the ground. I hope Moses records a couple videos of him playing. I'm very curious. So let's see. I can't reach. Perfect stealth. No one witnessed or no witnesses to ask. Yes, no witnesses to ask is always a way to go about this too, right? You just, it's not Assassin's Creed, so you shouldn't be penalized. That's true. I kind of want to poke at Archer Boy up here, because I'm going to have all these guys down here, so when Homeboy comes up, I'm just going to thwack him. But Archer Boy is always a pain in the... Okay, so I'm going to poke Archer Boy. Do I have anything else that I should... No, we're going to poke.
Yeah, aim shot is a good choice. He'll get harried, which means he also deals a little less damage.
Applies gracing to self. This character's next range attack will do... Oh, okay, let's do that. Why not? Let's go for it. Might as well. Alright, do I have other moves I want to do with these boys? Let's see. Let's, Nope. Nope. Let's just do, brace. And then I think you still have an action. But you don't have anything you can do right now. And how much focus... Do you have focus? Not yet. Do you have anything that generates focus?
All your attacks should generate focus.
No, I was wondering if I had anything I could do. We're gonna just let it we're gonna just.
They're not happy you're there.
I mean, them not being happy that I'm there just makes me feel like they should take the Moses approach to combat.
These are just...
That's what we're gonna call this from now on. By the way, Moses, welcome to the community. You have now You are now labeled as... Oh!
Yeah, that dealt a lot of damage.
That was a really heavy hit. No, 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 no. That was a bigger hit than I expected. That shot was
I should
insane.
move through that path and surprise them.
I'm not sure if he dealt a critical strike to you, maybe. Worst thing is that I'm pretty sure it was a poison arrow he shot at you, meaning you won't be able to heal that guy right now. Yeah, Was it a critical strike?
Holy crap! Like, he took 25 points of damage? Good lord.
You know how we talked about AI slider and making mistakes? Well, you should have dialed up your mistake slider, like, a little, Brad, because you should just have been in cover. Clearly, that's a cover point, like right next. Yeah, but not to the degree angle that he's in cover from that guy, the archer boy, as you called him.
You're right.
Being
Yeah,
the other
you're
cover
right.
point, you'll be safe. And that's the thing we kind of talked about. But it's always about like, there's so many things going on, new encounter, new strategy you need to deal with, that it's hard to know if you're going to do the optimal thing, and you'll forget like one too fatal mistake, and suddenly you're down to 7 out of 26 health on your 2 warriors. So that's why the AI needs to make some mistakes as well, if you want to, or you just go on insane and pray. Bring bandages.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Well, we are
really?
not doing so great.
Well, actually, that leader you were attacking, what's her health? The poor
What, this
Gallic
one?
warrior. Yeah. So as you see, around her class icon, she has some laurels, meaning she's a leader. And we were asked a bit about the morale earlier. Killing leaders actually affects the enemy morale more than killing any other significant characters. So that's a really good first step if you want the enemies to start routing and panicking. Oh, now you did it.
Yeah, I think Jackal was right about throwing the fire in front of the house. But then I have to get in that house. If I burn this, then I have to walk through the fire to get to the lyre, man.
I mean, it's something that still takes me some time to learn. Like, I kind of need to refresh my memory sometimes. It's very often that you block off the enemies with fire, and then you go, damn, I need to go that way myself. Something which I saw a lot of people struggle with when they were streaming the demo and playing the Hoppe encounter. Oh, Brad. Oh, you could do something cool there. You could push him into
Over
the fire.
here?
Yeah, if you move like one hex
Okay.
closer to him, then you have like this shield push. Yeah, move there, and then use that one on him. Yes, this shield push. Shield advance. Use that.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, into the fire you go.
Oh, you heard it here, folks. Hans, the combat designer, likes to push people into fires.
Enemies, not civilians. Not on live streams, at least.
I guess I'm gonna have to hit this boy. Oh, but I can't use focus, so that's not really worthwhile to me.
It's a really interesting character that Anke has set up. He's a Princeps and uses a shield and a dagger as a combo. A combo that actually I heard is quite underrated if you use the skill called 1-2, because then first you like stab them with your dagger and then punch them with your shield.
I think I may, even though, see, using Bull Rush here is kind of a waste, but it would get his DPS off the table at least.
Yeah, I don't know how many players here plays other RPGs. I assume quite a few. You always find yourself having way too many potions or things you're going to use whenever it's probably useful. You can use Bull Rush in every fight. Use it here, it's useful.
Yeah. Yeah, because I really do need to get a little bit of this DPS off the table. And I think I'm going to try to kill Homeboy, but I don't know if I can. Oh, I should be able to.
Unless, oh, there's a 100% success chance. She doesn't have any piercing resistance, so...
Come on!
What about, do you have anything else? You have your Triarius, the poison dude. Poor Polus, who's still not in cover. What do you have on your other weapon? I use Death Blow, maybe.
Yeah, but that's gonna like super expose him. And only an 85% chance of success. He only has like 2 health.
Yeah. I mean, what do you have on your secondary weapon if you swap away from the staff?
Yeah, good question.
Oh, you just have your bare hands.
Thanks, Anka. Appreciate you.
Chat is going all kinds of strategic on you right now. You're
heavy
getting all the
blows
options.
really good. This better work. All right.
Nice.
I mean, he's gonna die. Like he's not gonna live. But at least now I can move up this homeboy to help like split some of the damage tanking up there, and then we can go. Actually, I think I need to leave him there because this kid is still. He may die next turn from the fire. All right. I think that's all we got. Oh my god, this is gonna be tough. Chad, I hope you're enjoying watching me struggle.
I think you're doing pretty well. I think I kind of gave you too many good hints with the whole going around the house, shooting the oil barrel. Like, those are some good moves whenever you get to sneak in on a city like that. See?
See now, see, chat. Now Hans is trying to take credit for my victory here.
I can't take credit. I made this fight.
All right, so no. I think can I just this guy's knocked down, so I should be able to just death blow him.
Yeah, that's a really good move. That should be some insane damage. Yeah. Bye bye.
Later. Oh, I did not. Oh,
shit.
So about that.
So here you got to see some of the late game mechanics that we have in the game. Did you even see what was happening?
And now this guy's on fire, so that's cool. I think we're gonna get him out of the. Oh, hello.
Oh, there he was.
He's hidden. That punk. I didn't even know he was there.
That was the guy who shot you on the first turn, where the guy who wasn't hidden.
Yeah, I get it. You know what? Screw you.
On the ground.
On the floor with you, you little. So can I get? I can't get up to him without. And this guy died, right? He's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. Can I? Yeah, I'm so far away. So I need to get off of this place.
Yeah, it's not that tall that you get that much extra range bonus. I actually think that we had a question earlier in chat about if you can find bows with different ranges, and the answer is yes. You might find some bows with more damage but lower range, or some bows with lower damage and higher range. Good mix in between, whatever fits your playstyle.
What I'm gonna do is try to kill homeboy in one turn. If I do this,
ooh, crit.
Then I can move up here, and I also can move him up here, but I can't reach him. But at least I can get up there. I'll yeah, whatever, it's fine.
You might actually be able to just reach the objective.
Oh yeah, but we're taking the Moses approach. I gotta kill everybody.
Sure.
I mean, we're playing as Moses did, right?
You're
instead of parting
going to a friendly Gallic village to pick up a lyre from some well-known character, and then you just close the town instead.
Yeah, and we'll show them about picking up a lyre. Can I not reach? I can kill them. Later.
Picking the right options there. That was a good round. The Anira, she dealt a 20 damage crit on that. I believe you call him homeboy, but that's what you call most of the guys. These Romans are crazy.
Yeah, maybe your name should be Caligula Arose, Moses.
Now they're getting reinforcements.
Wait, what?
Surprise.
Well, I still have to get out. There's only 2 of them. I can kill those clowns. I'm not worried about them.
Famous last words.
Me, some people gonna die. There you go. Alright, Velas, you get the lyre. Oh, famous last words. Okay, so you're telling me that once I do this, someone's gonna, like, pop up and be like, hello!
No, I wouldn't do that. Yonk. So what do you need to do now?
Escape the encampment with a lot. Oh, I can do that. Whatever. No problem. Unless the civilians decide to go, like, super aggro on me. I got this.
He picked up the lyre? We don't like that. It's okay that you're killing our folks, but you can't take the lyre.
Do I need to stabilize this clown, or is he gonna be okay? I think I have a little bit of time.
It looks like Anke is playing without combat death on, so you see that's just a cross about over his portrait. So he's just down.
Anke.
He's just down. You don't need to stabilize him or anything.
Anke did some good for me. Appreciate that.
So it's like, yeah, you're playing on hard. The AR is hard, which is today's topic, so that's all good. But you want to challenge yourself even more tactically, you put on combat death. It's fun.
They hit hard, though.
They hit really hard.
They hit like a truck. Whoa, I thought you were dead. Oh, I thought I killed him.
You knocked him down. He was the sneaky boy.
All right. He's dead.
So, I think Gisma69 asked that some are, he pointed out that some of the enemies on the ground are still moving, so are they still alive? Yeah, so whenever an enemy's health pool goes to 0, it can happen in 2 ways. Either you do an overkill, as we call it, that's if you deal enough damage beyond 0, and that will kill them instantly. Some specific attacks will like cut off their limbs. You don't get back from that, I can tell you. And then the guys that you still see moving that have highlights on them, those are just incapacitated. After a few turns, they'll bleed out and die. But while they're still on the ground, specific enemy characters have tactics and tools for actually picking them back up again, which is quite annoying. That, as Brad mentioned earlier, a lot of the tactics comes down to taking out DPS from the enemy, because they always outnumber you. So we want to make sure that you're not going to take all of their hits, because then they will win. So here actually we see it in action. That's perfect.
Fight now.
He was fine. He can fight now. So he gets back up. He has an injury, but he'll get to act and attack you on his next turn.
Yeah, so...
Why don't you try fighting some real warriors for a change?
What'd you say? Shut up. I ain't talking. There's a... So, Jackal was talking about, so you can leave KO'd allies on the battlefield without penalty. That's not true. So, there is a mode that Anke has enabled, I guess, on this save file that allows me to not have to worry about bringing them back up. But by default, they can bleed out. Similar to like a game like XCOM, where if you don't heal them in a certain amount of time, they'll bleed out. If they're a Praetorian, which is a non-companion character, if they bleed out, they just die, and if they die, they're removed from your party completely. If they're a companion character and they bleed out, it's game over. So you can't allow companion characters to die. If they die, the game ends. So there are absolutely penalties to leaving someone KO'd on the ground and not stabilizing them, but Anke's playing with some training wheels on, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. You can also, if you actually mouse over the character that's down, you'll see that he also has gotten an injury, depending, I believe, on a chance, and also how long they've been out. They gain different injuries that you need to treat in between fights, and those can like get more and more severe over time. You can revive this guy, but
you're gonna find that, like after this is over, I'm gonna have to go and actually, if I wanted to, I'd have to triage them to make them usable again, and they get different debuffs. So there's a lot of different mechanics there behind. One, even if you stabilize them, they're injured, so there's problems that are associated with that. So that's a thing. And then also Sand Pixie, I call it's just a turn of phrase for me, and I like calling people clowns when I'm fighting them. So, but yeah, I guess do Gauls have funny hair?
They want their lyre back. They're chasing after you.
It's not gonna matter. I did it.
You did it. Good job. Hard wasn't too hard for you.
Well, you did help.
Nah.
Sweet. And now we
The
can
town
loot
is
if we
yours.
wanted. Town is mine.
There's a bit of cleaning up to do. You made a mess, but I mean, classic RPG style: smash every jar, open every chest.
If by cleaning up you mean pull a Moses, then I think they already ran away.
I think it's safe to say you pulled the Moses.
No. I let a whole bunch of people live. Like, there's only how many? I mean, that's not that bad. I could have been a lot worse.
Sure, you say so. I mean, I think you did good.
So let's answer some questions now at the last like 5 or 6 minutes we have left. Let me go through my question list. I hope you guys had a chance. I had fun looking at this. I'm not sure if there's a. We were talking about actually the triage thing. I'll show that really quick here. So you'll see the guy who got hit to the floor is now, he's disgruntled for probably different reasons, but also has a light injury. So you can assign a healer here, or there's also ways that you can do this back at your war camp by going back to your war camp and dropping them off there. So there's a couple of different ways you can handle injuries. If injuries get too severe, I think they have to go to the war camp in order to be healed. They can't be healed out in the field. So that's one of those things where if I decided to keep using this person and they kept on getting more and more hurt, or if they had a bad roll when they got downed and the injury was severe, you can kind of help them out a little bit in the field, but you really have to take them back and let them stand there. So there's a whole bunch of different dynamics there that are running based on what happens. So I didn't get out unscathed for sure.
No, but I think you did pretty well.
Oh, thank you.
You, I mean,
ERT or Ert Legert Ert Legert asks, do we have to start from the last save? So the way the demo works, if you buy the full game and decide to join us on the 20th playing the full game, your save files will load in the full game just fine, so you can pick up right where you left off with no interruption to your gameplay whatsoever. So demo save files will just automatically show up in your full game save list, and you can just load them and keep on going. So no reason to go through and do the stuff you did in the demo over again. And if you haven't checked it out, the demo is available right now on Steam, so you can play a good chunk of content. It's like 4 or 5 hours just for one playthrough if you wanted. But it's a good chunk of content available for free on Steam right now. You can go to the Expeditions Rome page, download the demo, and check it out. Save file, progress all saves there. And then on January 20th is when the full game will come out, and that's when you can pick up where you left off and keep going with your adventures in Rome. So let me answer a few other questions here. So Jackal mentioned a question. You may have answered this, but it's so morale is mostly a penalty then. There's not many benefits for high morale or benefits besides being less likely to do dumb things. So I'm going to take that to a certain degree because I think there's a combat mechanic around combat morale, and that's mostly like your morale needs to be stable, and if it falls, then you have problems. I don't think there's a boost to having high morale in combat, right? It's just it's almost like a maintenance, right? You have to maintain your morale. However, we were looking at this earlier. There is kind of an opinion type system, which is a little bit like morale, where the actions you take in the role-playing part of the game impact your Praetorians' opinions of you. And they can be a different range. If I go to this different stuff, you get like unwavering, pleased, unwavering, disgruntled, devoted. So they have different kinds of opinions of you. And if those opinions get too low, they start getting debuffs in combat. And for the normal Praetorians, if it gets too low, the non-companion Praetorians, they may just decide to leave. They're like, you know what, I'm out. I don't like you and agree with what you're doing, so I'm not going to fight with you anymore. So you do have to kind of keep that in mind when you're recruiting new Praetorians, as well as when you're making decisions in the role-playing game, because you may end up making someone upset with you, and that can cause different complications there.
Yeah, I mean, we call it the approval system, and it connects with almost all of the other major systems in the game. Like you want people who like you to command your legions in battle. You want usually you want your companions to like you before you can romance them. I think that's a good hint that also goes for real life. So keeping the approval high matters in a lot of cases, and also directly to combat. The lower your approval is, the less your characters like you, the lower their morale will be in the start of combat, meaning there'll be a higher chance for them to actually panic early on.
Absolutely. By the way, H for Havoc's on here. If you guys didn't catch his stream, he did an awesome 2-part stream during our streamer event weekend back in December. He has some really cool videos up on YouTube. So if you want to see some more of this of the game, past just a demo, I really recommend you go to H for Havoc's YouTube channel. I also believe he has some of his VODs saved on Twitch, and really cool streamer. So recommend checking him out if you're interested in some of the Rome content. He did a really cool job of playing the game during the demo weekend. So we have a few more minutes. Let me answer a couple more questions from chat. So so do ranged weapons have different ranges, or are they the same? I'll let you take that one as a quick, short answer there. I know the answer for it, but go ahead.
Yeah, I believe I already answered it, but yeah, different bows have different ranges and different damage to kind of balance out each other depending on what playstyle you want to play with. Like later in the game, you can shoot further or shorter, but gain or lose damage in balance to it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, by the way, community.expeditionseries.com is where all of our dev diaries and our forums are. We post a dev diary. I guess we're going to be posting one every week from now to the end of the month. They always are posted on Mondays. So really recommend if you want to get plugged in to join our community there. We also have Discord. But as far as the dev diaries are concerned, I check the dev diaries every day before the stream, and I write down any questions that are on there. So if you want to have the best shot of your question getting answered, really recommend responding to the dev diary, because the day before our streams on Wednesdays, I always check. And as another reminder, we're going to be streaming every Wednesday this month at the same time. So join us next week. We're going to be talking about our companions. We actually have sneak preview. We have some really cool short little 30-second companion trailers that are going to start releasing on Monday next week. We're going to have one each day, which is really awesome. So you're going to get introduced to all 5 of the companions with this short little trailer piece, and then we're going to talk about the companions in detail next week on Wednesday. So if you're into the RPG stuff, it's going to be a really exciting stream and dev diary on Monday, stream on Wednesday, and we'll also talk about some of the different companions mechanics, which kind of tie to their classes, but still a really cool piece of content. I think Jonas will be joining us for that one. So definitely tune in next week for the companions trailer and companion week. Companion week is going to be going on all next week. Let's see if I can sneak 1 or 2 more questions before we have to call it here, and producer Alex in the background starts turning the lights off.
The dwarf had a pretty cool question, if I could answer that one.
Which one is it?
Rudin the dwarf, he asked if there's what he calls phase aggro in the game.
Okay, go ahead. So let's read his question is there phase aggro? Will enemies sometimes ignore weak companions or their most popular companions type, like range, instead just attack the nearest character, allowing you to place strong companions in certain positions to basically tank some of the damage?
Yeah, so essentially we have like 3 different ranks of like enemy types in the game. Like there's civilians, they're the dumbest, the least good at fighting. Then you have bandits, who are a little smarter, they have more equipment suited for fighting, and then you have military characters who also as a subclass have like the militia. The higher rank they are, the smarter they are, and then essentially the dumber they are, the easier it'll be for tank them. But you also do have characters like the Veles, or like the light class in terms of enemies, certain assassins who will ignore, like straight out ignore some of your shield guys and have mechanics that are there to bypass the attacks opportunity to get to your rare lines and attack your support characters and your archers. So yes and no. The enemies are there to always shake it up for you. You can count on your shields blocking a lot of damage on the front lines, but you can't always count on them taking care of the whole lot.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also part of just kind of that. We actually originally in the game, this is like an insider thing. Earlier on in development, we didn't have the kind of inexperienced enemies, the lower class enemies, and we kept on running into challenges during balancing because every enemy was going to be a shield guy or a strong opponent, and not that they're cannon fodder, but we wanted something that we could use as more set pieces that you had to maneuver around. Yeah. And we wanted the both you and the AI to have different options to place. So when we added those kind of lower tier enemies, we added that mechanic where you can chain attack them, and it definitely expanded our ability to push difficulty or soften difficulty in certain encounters while still making it fun to navigate through the combat space. I think it was a really cool addition when we added those in. It changed the flow of combat quite a bit. Super cool.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for our stream today. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys see a sneak peek of a Gaul combat encounter. We're going to be here talking about companions next week on Wednesday. Like I mentioned earlier, We're going to show more gameplay, so I'm not sure exactly what we're going to show gameplay-wise next week that will tie into the campaigns, but we're going to definitely show some stuff live on stream. So if you like seeing exclusive stuff, we're being very careful not to do spoilers. So I promise you, if you join, we're not going to show you anything on the stream that spoils anything for the story or the narrative. We're just going to show you cool content that is still exciting, but we'll leave the mystery of the Rome adventure up for your imagination when you get a chance to play. Game comes out January 20th, right around the corner. We're really, really happy about that. It's been a long journey. We have been so grateful for all of your positive feedback on the demo so far. It may seem like a small thing, but it really means a lot. We read it, we notice it, we see the videos being posted on YouTube, we see the stuff on Discord and on the forums, on Steam and on our own forums. Everyone's excitement. We have awesome people like H for Havoc streaming the game and talking great about it. All of that makes such a huge difference. It's been I don't know. It means a lot from the heart. It really does. We appreciate it a lot. So thank you for joining our stream and our community. And we hope you'll see us next week. Hans, thank you so much for joining us first stream of the new year.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for having me, and thanks for everyone for tuning in, for playing the demo. We're super excited for the game being out very soon. So stay safe and be sure to check out the next stream.
Awesome. Everyone, have a good time. We'll see you next week. Cheers.